In this video, I'm going to be using a MudTools Octagon adjustable mold. This is a great mold. It has a nice bevel to create a nice edge on a platter, and it has adjustable sides where you can make the side length different lengths. It has a nice bevel to create a nice deep kind of a platter, and yet it has a flat edge where you can create a nice flange if you would like to. Each side is adjustable with a little screw mechanism, and as you can see here, it is mounted to the back, and you just loosen and tighten the screw mechanism as you slide them in and out. And again, the dimensions are marked on there for precision. To begin this platter, I'm going to start off by cutting some clay directly off the block, and I'm not going to wedge it. I'm just going to roll it out. When you begin rolling, remember that you want to be careful to roll from the middle going outward, and you kind of want to go slowly. I alternate directions a little bit at a time. I pick the clay up, I rotate it, I flip it, because I want to stretch it multiple directions. I'm working on a measured mat there, also from MudTools. Here I'm using some slab sticks. Now my set of slab sticks, I have color coded them and I painted them with the different depths. I'm going to be using the yellow ones, which are 3/8 of an inch thick slab sticks. And I am just, again, rolling out until I try to get down to the final measurement. The clay will get to the point where it's so wide that my rolling pin no longer fits side to side, so I still have to be rather careful to try to keep one edge of the rolling pin on the slab sticks, because I want to try to get it as even as I possibly can. And it's a little harder when you don't have two slab sticks that your rolling pin can reach. And again, this mat is great because it has the measurements on there. Now I'm going to be ribbing, and I'm just using the MudTools red rib here, kind of cleaning off the edge as I'm doing that. I want to compress the clay well on both sides. The compression will make it stronger, and I try to alternate the directions that I'm ribbing to. I might go up and down, side to side, diagonally. And once it's ribbed, I'm ready to texture. Here I'm also using a MudTools roller. The rollers are interchangeable for different patterns, and I'm going to add a little bit of a pattern to this before I place it into the mold. And once I have the pattern the way I want it, I'm going to carefully lift the slab. Note I use a lot of my arm to lift that, and I gently work it down into the mold. You have to be careful with this because you don't want to get finger dents, and I lift the edges and just encourage it to go down in there. Here I'm going to be trimming off some of the excess clay. It helps it to go down in a little bit better when I trim off some of that clay. And I'll leave that loose scrap just kind of loose, and I will wet it down with a water bottle, put it back in the bag so we can wedge it. Now, using a straight edge, I line it up with the edges of the adjustable mold, and then I can trim away the outside so it has a little bit more precision, and it's an even distance of a flange. And I drop it once to help anchor it down in there and get it to go down in there a little bit better.
So this platter is already at the leather hard state. It's actually on the dry side of leather hard. This is just the trimmed edge that I did when I was in the mold. Now the last thing that I want to do to this edge is I would like to soften it a little bit, and I like to round it. Now what I have here, you can see this is just a credit, well, like a credit card. It's a room key from a hotel, and I just notch them. And by taking this and dragging it along your edge, you can kind of sculpt it to have a uniform appearance. So I'm going to do that all the way around. One thing I would like to note about using the card for the edge is do make sure that your piece is leather hard or on the dry side of leather hard. If it's still on that plastic side of leather hard, it is easy to accidentally gouge it. So you just want to be careful of that.
Here I'm just trying to tidy up my workspace so I don't get anything embedded into the edge, and flip it upside down and sign it.
And dry them upside down. By drying things that are big, broad, and flat like this, if you dry it right side up, it can have the tendency to warp, or if it's slightly off when you set it right side up, it'll dry warped, which is even worse. So I do like to flip it like that.
Now this is a second platter that I made where I'm just altering the edge. At first I drew out an alteration, and I will have changed my mind and I will cut off these little things by the end, but it does have an altered edge, which is kind of fun. I just wanted to show you another way. Now I'm cutting off the little spherical things, cleaning up the edge with the card just the way I did on the other one, smoothing it, using a little loop tool there to smooth that. And again, I'll dry it upside down. And here's a finished glazed piece. I have just dipped it into root beer. It's Coyote Rootbeer for a nice look. And on the back, I have texture where I've left glaze in the texture, and it's kind of a nice little accent when you look at it on the back. But it's the adjustable mold from MudTools is great, and I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something. Thanks. Please subscribe.